Another photograph pulled from the archives of my drawer. Another Norfolk farm showing a lane, country lane, with some trees. I've taken some liberties with the trees, as I'll show you. I've done a drawing. I've taken the telegraph poles out as well. I put a bit of a fence in. That's about all I can say really. There's some poplar trees there. Not popular, poplar. Well, they look quite long and finger-like, so we'll have a go at those. Right, okay, let's take it to the drawing. Just a few simple buildings here, the farm. A nice field of what I presume is, well, we'll just call it a grassy field. And a bit of a grass verge. This, judging by the colour of the leaves, it's an autumn scene. So we would have been there around about October in the school holidays. So I would have been from an English country cottage, and I can't remember which one now. It's a long time ago with friends. I think we walked all over North Norfolk and Diss, which is on the Norfolk-Suffolk border. So I'll wet the paper. A good wet. It's quite dry today again, so the paper is absorbing the water quite quickly, or evaporating. So let's just make sure it's all covered. I'm not going to paint around the houses. I'll wait for the paper to dry, and I want to get to the sky established. Now, the photograph shows a boring blue sky, which we don't like. We want some drama in the sky, but the sky is not really competing. Let's clean up my paints. Usual colours, like lemon yellow, dirty yellow, lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey, and burnt sienna. Right. I've also got a pot of masking fluid. A tube of gouache, which is okay if you use it sparingly, and my 4B pencil, and when that goes wrong, a nice putty rubber which moulds in your hand. It gets softer with use, well, when you fiddle around with it. Wonderful. It doesn't destroy the surface of your paper or spread the graphite, provided you don't use the point of the pencil and dig it into the paper. So a bit of sienna. So re-wetting the paper really. Bit of alizarin. Let's get that in there. Green. Right, in with a bit of dramatic sky, a bit of blue, a bit of alizarin, a nice dark blue I think. But the alizarin just kills the coldness of the ultramarine. Paint around the clouds with the blue. And as the sky comes down, put in some cloud now. Light red and ultramarine is a good mix. Right, okay, so we've got a bit interesting sky there, with some clouds showing. It's like reverse painting. If you're using an oil, you can go whichever way you like. You can go light to dark, dark to light. With watercolour, you've got to go from light to dark. But I'm not a one for lifting out or blotting out the clouds. I think it looks, when everything else looks soft, it does look a bit mannered. Probably better to paint the underpainting, let it dry, then go over it with with your next wash and let that dry. But I haven't demonstrated that. I'm not quite so sure of my technique there, not having done this for so long. The papers I used to use were Arches, £200, £150, very, very good paper. You could do more or less what you liked with it. It didn't go into the cauliflowers quite as readily as this paper does. But this is Fabriano, and it's quite a good paper for wet in wet. The reason Stephen Cronin and I are using it is because it comes in blocks of 100, 15 inches by 11, £130 weight, and it's very convenient. It's very inexpensive to do this sort of painting on. These are demonstrations and not portraits really. Mind you, all I've been doing in the last 6 or 7 months are demonstrations. I haven't done anything for myself other than these, but great practice. While that is drying off, I'm going to put in this bit of a green field. So, raw sienna, bit of Payne's grey, bit of lemon yellow, and just put it in fairly light, but vary the colours. And I'm painting, there seems to be some furrows going that way, so we'll put them in as such. Sort of going down a little bit of a hill maybe. There's foliage like a hedgerow here and there, so we'll just put those in. We can superimpose over that. Now as that dries, I can put in some furrows just to show some undulations in the ground. And while we're at it, we'll put in the light hay colour of this round here. There's some green in there. Now I can see the telegraph poles that are there, which I'm not putting in, casting a shadow that way, so the light is coming from there in the photographs. But we can make up our own light, so we get some nice light on top of that. And then that's the basic underpainting there. Bit of darker green in there. Get nice and thick paint in there. Right, a bit of burnt sienna there, and a bit of blue just to show the side of the road. Right, now over that we've got some darker, well, we've got all sorts of trees here. There's some autumny leaves here, and superimpose some green over that. The autumn colours. Lots of autumn colours in here. There's still a lot of green left as well, so we'll go up here with the burnt sienna. Excuse me. I'm darkening it here because of all the shadow of these trees. So I'm mixing a bit of Payne's grey with the burnt sienna. I'm not using it neat. I'm just modifying the grey. Right. Put some green in there now. So there's some evergreens in here. Some bits of green in there. And a bit of green back in here. I need to darken the shadow in there a little bit, so a bit of burnt sienna and just to establish the shape of the hedgerow here, or the verge, the roadside verge. So if I paint that dark, it makes this murky hedgerow or verge look a bit negative, like a negative shape. It makes it brighter. So we've done the autumn stuff in there, just to wash the honey out a little bit. And then we'll put in some autumn leaves. Now we've got some green, some light green. And then we've got some dark greens. Painting around the houses here. And we've got some lighter green, just coming in front of that. And put just a darker base to that. Now, I can get some really dark green foliage going up here now. Just to show some direction to the lie of this ploughed or meadow. Right, that'll do. That shows enough. Now then, I want to show those poplars, but I'm a bit risky with this brush, but we'll have a go. I'll put them in burnt umber, bit of blue, but fairly light. Right, let's just see what happens. It's a bit heavy. Oh, much higher than that. There's a lot of light showing through these things. I don't think, yeah, they are poplars, but they're very, very faint. And the sky hasn't come down enough there, so I'll just put a bit more umber in there. That looks a bit bare there, doesn't it? But there's a bit of a hole with this sort of cloud coming up here. I might even go over that with a bit of a heavier colour for a threatening cloud over this whole thing. Well, let's dry the cake clean. Oh, I know what we're going to put in. We've got to put in the road, the sweep of this road. So, green palette, good colour for that. Dry brush, blue and red. Press a bit of water in it. Oh, that'll be right. By the time I close it in with a bit of hedgerow. Right, while that's drying off, I'll go back to the buildings now. The roof, and that's a grey slate roof on the main building. So. Red roof underneath here. And this other one is quite a dark bluey slate. Shadow on the leaves. The walls of this is like Norfolk flattens, probably inset with lots of flint. So it's sort of a red. red, brick red. We're just not saying this colour's the roof really. Oh, still. There, looks quite dark in there, so I've misread that. Right. Give that a try. Put a bit of detail in there now. Some windows. Now we've got some roofs. It's all red brick, but they're pretty much sharp. Just put it dark, straighten up out there a little bit. That's better. Well, they're okay. They're very simply put in. Now we'll go for these lovely things here on the hake. We'll put in. Well, that's strange. It's looking as if the light on the photograph is coming on the right side of the trunk, yet the shadow of this is going that way. So let's put it in a greeny colour. Let's go up here. In the shadow there. There. put some leaf cover on there when that dries off a little bit. Right, let's go into this area here now. So we've got just not a lot of green in there, but just a lot of this. As simply as possible. These people don't want any portraits of anything, just want it in. Right, now some greens. Sienna in there. Right, put some heavier stuff in there now. As we go come nearer, well, just a little bit more detail. And then we've got shadow. Right, now I'm going to see if I can get just a sweep down there to show the centre of the road. Now a bit of dry brush. Right, that'll have to do. Maybe one around there. We can put a couple of figures on there. Right, now some nice leaves on here. So burnt umber. I'll put some rigour into this. Not vigour, rigour. Rigor mortis. Warmer in front. As warm as that. Then we'll put some darker shadow into this. Underneath. With my stippler brush, I'll put in some individual stuff. Slightly finer mark than the hake would make. Some in here. We put a fence in there as well. That cries out for a bit of tree in there, doesn't it? It's just a little bit bare against that dark. I'll probably come down a bit too far with that grey, but put in distance. Bit of a distance tree in there. That needs a bit more darkening, I think. Clean brush. Right, now rigger. Just some indication of a couple of figures walking up here. I'll give him a bit of a, or her a bit of a head. But it's not really showing up against the green, so I'm going to have to paint it either dark or a lighter. Well, that'll do. Might use my little bit of white on there just to put the hat on or something. Right, let's put in some fence bits. I'll block them out, I think. We go. That fills in that area quite nicely. Right, signature, I think. It's worth it. Right, I was just going to do something with that figure, wasn't I? So let's see if I can just... Lovely. Right, I'll put that in a... No, let's have a bird or two. A bit wet. Right, take them out. I've done 3 of these today, so that'll be enough, I think. I'll get some lights of the old body. Alright, there we are, another farm. I'll show you the photograph. What's the photograph? That's what I've done of it. 2 little figures. Should have blotted out behind it really, but anyway, I've got the field in. I've got a few fence posts coming along here. Bit of interest. The trees, I've done them in mostly raw sienna, lemon yellow, and probably a bit of Payne's grey. Try to keep the light on one side, not quite successfully. Building's very simple, but by and large, I'm quite happy with that. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.